What did Pastor Rick Warren do? The journey of a faith leader through triumphs and trials in the vast landscape of American evangelicalism. Few names are as well known and respected as Pastor Rick Warren's. He is best known as the founding pastor of Saddleback Church in California and the author of the best-selling book Asterisk, The Purpose-Driven Life. He impacted millions of people with his lessons on faith, purpose, and community service. However, like many public figures, his journey has not been easy. He has had to deal with problems, controversies, and deep personal losses. What happens when the public's expectations meet the private struggles of a preacher who has spent his whole life helping others? As we look into Rick Warren's life and recent events, discover a story full of inspiration, sadness, strength, and an unwavering dedication to faith. The early years. Born on January 28, 1954, in San Jose, California, faith was founded on a foundation of faith. Rick Warren grew up in a home that stressed the importance of faith. His father, a Baptist pastor, taught him the values of service and compassion. From a very young age, Warren felt called to ministry, which led him to. He went to California Baptist University and got a Bachelor of Arts in Religion. He then went to Southwestern Baptist Theological Seminary and got a Master of Divinity. Warren's early work in ministry, especially with youth groups and starting churches, set him up for future success. In 1980, he started Saddleback Church in Lake Forest, California, with a group of friends. He wanted to make a place where people from all walks of life could find community and purpose. What began as a small meeting quickly grew into one of the biggest and most important churches in the U.S. This is the story of Saddleback Church's growth. Interesting, the church adopted a purpose-driven plan under Warren's leadership that stressed how important it is to know and live out one's purpose in life. The church focused on 5 biblical purposes: ministry of worship, evangelism, fellowship, and teaching. This all-around method hit home with congregation members and brought in thousands of new members, making Saddleback a well-known institution in the evangelical scene. The innovative ideas Warren had about church leadership and growth got him speaking engagements and a chance to share his vision for the church. In 2002, he wrote a nonfiction book called Asterisk, The Purpose-Driven Life, which went on to sell over 30 million copies worldwide and become one of the best-selling books of all time. Followers agreed with the ideas of having a purpose in life and knowing God's plan for each person, which led to a worldwide movement based on those ideas. Warren talked about a new age. With the success of Asterisk, The Purpose-Driven Life, there will be more global impact in humanitarian efforts. Warren became a popular speaker and a leading figure in global Christianity. His impact went beyond the church walls as he got involved in a number of humanitarian projects. In 2005, he started the Peace Plan, an effort to deal with global problems like poverty, disease, and ignorance by starting at the local level. Warren's desire to help others led him to different parts of the world, where he worked with groups to give help and resources to people who needed them. His support for mental health awareness and the importance of emotional health made his commitment to service even stronger. Warren became famous as a caring leader who wanted to make a difference, but becoming famous didn't come without problems. As a public figure, he had to deal with questions about his teachings, the way his church did things, and the political effects of his platform. Despite these problems, Warren stayed true to himself. Warren stayed true to his goal of spreading the message of love and acceptance, even though he had to deal with the death of a loved one and other devastating problems in his personal life. In 2013, he and his wife Kay lost their son Matthew, who had a mental illness and ended his own life. This tragedy shook the Warren family to their core and put them in the public eye, talking about mental health stigma and how important it is to get help. Please help us deal with this loss. Warren spoke out about mental illness and shared his family's story to help others understand how complicated mental illness can be. He stressed that people who are struggling with mental health problems need compassion, support, and understanding. This trip through grief was very hard, but it helped Warren connect with other people who had been through similar things, shared the same pain, which created a sense of community and hope in the middle of sadness. Recently, there was a change in leadership at Saddleback Church, which helped the church continue to grow. Warren chose to step down as senior pastor in 2021 and announced his retirement after more than 40 years of work. This choice was made as part of a planned succession plan that would let the church move forward with new leadership while keeping its core beliefs strong in May 2021. Warren gave a moving speech to the audience in which he talked about his life and how thankful he was for the experiences he had shared with the church community. He stressed how important it was to keep going, about what Saddleback Church does, and why the next group of leaders needs to step up. Not only was it a big change for Warren, but it was also a big change for the whole church community. As new leaders took over, questions started to come up about the future of Saddleback and how it would adapt to the changing face of American Christianity. Warren's retirement will bring about changes in the future of Saddleback Church. The church at Saddleback has continued to grow. Led by a group of people who are dedicated to the church's mission, the church has adopted a multi-campus model that increases its reach and impact in the community and beyond, with a focus on service, worship, and outreach. Saddleback is still an important part of the scenery in Southern California. Warren's legacy as a visionary leader and caring pastor lives on in the church community. His focus on living with a purpose has motivated many people to find their calling and make a positive difference in the world. As new leaders take over in their communities, the basic ideas Warren laid will almost certainly guide their work in the years to come. What's next for Rick Warren? As Pastor Rick Warren moves into a new part of his life, he will continue to be a strong voice in the community of evangelicals. In interviews after he retired, his dedication to mental health advocacy, humanitarian work, and faith-based outreach continues to motivate others to live worthwhile lives based on love and service. Warren has said that he wants to focus on writing speeches and helping young church leaders grow. He is still committed to the mission of. Despite the problems he has had, he spreads hope and encourages others to find their meaning in life. Warren's story shows how strong resilience can be and how important community support can be. His ability to connect with people on a personal level has changed lives and started important talks about faith, mental health, and the church's role in dealing with these issues. Problems in society. When we think about what happened to Pastor Rick Warren, we can see that his life and ministry have been full of both successes and failures. From his early days as a church planter to becoming a world leader in the evangelical movement, he has been through a lot. Warren has had an impact on millions of people as he continues to deal with the challenges of life after retirement. One thing is for sure: the world will always remember Pastor Rick Warren's dedication to faith, service, and the search for meaning. His legacy will live on through the many people he has inspired, as well as through the goal of Saddleback Church and the many. It changes the lives of people in the ever-changing worlds of faith and community. Rick Warren is a beacon of hope who shows us all how purpose can change our lives and how important it is to walk together on our faith journeys. As we look to the future, we can only imagine the next parts of his amazing story and the lasting effect he will have on the lives of people who are trying to find their place in the world.